Okay, want to open it up to some Q&A?
Yes, we have a question here for you from Pauline. She asks, is Custom Ink a DecoNetwork site?
No, no, it is not. Custom Ink, they built their own software around it, and I couldn't tell you what it was built with, but no, they are not a DecoNetwork user.
And I have a question for you, Zach. So for a shop owner who is looking to do this themselves and set up their website, how much time would you recommend that they should allocate towards this design project?
I mean, it all depends on what they're trying to do, but if I look at it this way, the get a quote are just the tools, the contact is really just a form, the products are literally just listing the products. 95% of the design comes down to the services I talk about in the homepage. What I tell most of my clients, if they hire me to help them with their site, I tell them I can get what you need done in 4 hours. What you want done can take 8 or more hours to accomplish. So it just all depends on how comfortable you are. But what I like to do with my clientele is I like to help build the site and teach them how to use it. You're going to want to update the site over time. So the more you understand the basics, the better. But it's not that difficult with the drag and drop capabilities. If it was all custom code, then yeah, it would take a long time. But you can really do what you need in just a few hours.
Right. And we have another question for you. Mike asks, can he give you a call to get a quote on building the websites that they currently have on their old system?
Yep. The easiest way for me to know what we have to build is to be shown, hey, I like the layout of this site, or this is my current site, and I want to mimic it. Because just like I did with Custom Ink, I mean, once you've designed a few sites, you start looking at it as how did they build this? And if I look at Custom Ink and I could build, I mean, to your question, was Custom Ink built on Deco? No. But if somebody was like, I want my homepage to look identical to Custom Ink, I absolutely could do it in Deco without adding any custom code unless we had to mimic the look of the header, because that has to be custom coded. It's more unique. But otherwise, yeah, it's just rows of content. Anybody can show me almost any website. We can mimic the look of it. So, yep, to do that, I mean, you can raise a support, or not, you can raise a support ticket. You could request a Deco Pro quote from Business Hub, or you can just go to decoexperts.com and you'll find my information here.
Okay. And then Pauline asked, did you release the new decoration tool that can be added?
No, I didn't. I think I know Pauline
Mm-hmm.
who's asking this. So I've been working with the developer over the past couple of months. Deco has a very nice design tool, but there are some things I would like changed about it. So as far as custom coding, yeah, there is a lot of custom coding that can be done. So what I have been working on with the developer is building a new design tool that I'm going to be licensing here very soon. And I'll take you to the designer. And this is what custom code can do to a Deco site. Now, again, it takes a whole nother skill set, and yeah, it's much different. But this is DecoNetwork's design tool redesigned. And this is what I will be releasing here very soon that can be purchased from anybody in the DecoNetwork community. The layout is similar to CustomInk.com's design tool, Inksoft. Other people who have used design tools in the past are often used to adding artwork from over here, selecting the product, designing here. It just looks a bit more like a traditional designer on other websites. And yes, this is coming out very soon. I'm trying to perfect it before I start releasing it, because once I release it, you buy it from me and then I update it. It's a hassle to be going back in. So that's what's taken a while. Very, very soon, this will be available so you can use it on your Deco site.
Okay, and we can give some other people time to drop some more questions in the chat if you have them. Anything that you might want to ask Zach about starting your e-commerce store and the design of it, feel free to go ahead and write it in the chat for us. Zach, I really liked how you kind of just went back to saying that less is best, and to continually to keep that in mind while you're building your website so that, it's just giving still a clean look.
Yeah, and don't complicate it for the customer, especially if I'm on a phone. I don't want to have to scroll through a bunch of stuff to do it. I want to select a product and then again go on the path of designing or requesting a quote. I said yes, less is more. And look at what the competition is often doing, like Custom Ink or really anybody. They're typically keeping it very simple. And the big thing are the products. So go to customink.com. And I keep saying customink.com because it's by far the most visited site on the internet for decoration purposes. I mean, I would not be surprised if this weekend they're running another Super Bowl ad, and that's unheard of for a printing business. But what customink.com does is they offer a very concise, easy to navigate product mix. They don't offer thousands of products. They offer a couple hundred. So the customer can easily make a selection and then place an order. So yes, the website design, simpler the better, but the product mix, it has to be easy to navigate. I don't care how beautiful your website is. I don't care how great your pricing is. If the products aren't intuitive from a navigation standpoint, or after I select a product, it promises me the impossible or doesn't allow me to produce an accurate proof and price, it's really all for nothing. The products do the bulk of the talking, and thus you really need to take the time to polish the core product mix. The products are everything on your primary site, on affiliate sites, and Business Hub. So when somebody signs up for DecoNetwork, I always tell them 99% of setting up DecoNetwork is coming into the product section and organizing the products into categories and subcategories and making sure the correct processes are on. I mean, for example, every t-shirt technically can be embroidered. It is possible. So it is on by default. Not every shop will do that. So you need to come in here and make sure that you're not promising something that you can't deliver. And so turning off embroidery in this case, and if I'm looking at this garment, not every one of them needs this, but this is too low from the collar for me. I'm going to click on this gear, click allow, and move it up a little bit. Doing little things like that will really take your website to the next level, because it doesn't matter how beautiful it is. If these products aren't optimally configured, you're in trouble. That's why 99% of setting up Deco is polishing the products. They do all of the talking.
Right. And Mike asked, most of our websites are company portals for employees who do not pay for their product. The company is billed and the order is dumped once a month. How does that bulk dump work?
Okay, that's a good question. So when it comes to when you're on the premium plan, which is by far the most popular plan on Deco, you have up to 500 sites, and you can access all your sites from here. Every site works identically the same and has the same capabilities. There's nothing different. The difference is your primary site is your customink.com, for lack of a better term. Your customers are going to come there to design a product from scratch, versus affiliate sites that you provide to a client is either a for-profit merchandise site or it's typically an ordering portal, one of those two. And I'll just go back into the site I created. When you are creating a site for a client, you often need to set the production method. So there's two methods. You're either on-demand production, meaning you're getting orders out as quickly as you can, or you're going to enable batch production. By enabling batch production, you can put orders essentially into a holding pattern for your website until you're ready to process them. So when you're in batch production and you come back to Business Hub, within Business Hub, you will see a batch stores section, and that will allow you to have all the orders from that store gather. So right here, batch stores. And all your orders will accumulate. And then once you're ready to produce them, you can create one purchase order, one list of what you need to purchase, one condensed production worksheet across all the orders that were placed. That way you can be as efficient as possible when it comes to decorating. And then you can print the individual worksheets for each order. So typically what I would do is I would raise a PO, order all the blanks. Then I look at the master production worksheet. I print everything I need, and I match them up to the individual worksheets for the orders. Now, typically when we have a batch production situation, that means that the store is essentially going to gather orders over a period of time. And that often means we're going to set a close store date. So let's say I'm going to close the store on the 24th. If I come back to the website, one of our widgets, remember there's over 30 of them, down at the very bottom is a countdown clock. So I can drop a countdown clock here. And I'm going to use the close store date, use the flip method. And this is counting down from when the store closes. And I could add something like place your order before the store closes. You have to let them know that, hey, this countdown clock is relevant. You have to do something before that. But that's really, yeah, most of the time you're in batch production that you need to put the store in batch production, you initiate a close store date, you show the countdown clock so the customer knows they need to place their order before it closes. And then the site is kind of essentially off until you turn it back on.
Right. Arvin says, I prefer to have garments without a human model, but that might not be the best option. In your experience, is it better to use a garment shown worn by a person or without?
It's a good question. I would say it often comes more so down to what supplier you're using. So Sanmar, why I say that is, look at the difference between this model image and this one. So Alpha and SNS, they'll often have an image of a background of a place, a park, versus a lot of Sanmar products. If it's a model, it's going to have a white background. So personally, if it has the white background, I like the model version. If it's a combination, I don't think it looks as good. I prefer to show the product view. So that's how I first make my decision. It is a great question. Why I do think that the model view often works better is because some shirts are slimmer fitting than others, and it's good to see that, versus if we just show the product view, it's not always obvious. Now, it is important to realize I can switch between what view I use. Now, right now, this is the sales image view. When I go to the product view, you're going to see that every background is going to be pretty much the same, and it's going to look like a lot of shirts. It is also more consistent for this supplier in this case. And I do know, oh, look, it has a white background. Well, that's because our true background isn't white. It's in the style editor. I'll make the blank product background white. And it's very clean. Now, I can use both the sales and the product view. So let's go back to just showing the sales image. I want to show you something that's really nice about showing colors is that you can show the customer what that color actually looks like on the product before having to go to the product details page. But it's going to show the product view when it does that. So you'll see right now we're on the sales image. Let's say I want to see what does this 3301 look as red. Well, now it shows the product view, and it's very nice to be able to swap these colors. And I don't think it's a bad thing that I start with this and change. My bigger problem is the inconsistencies of the background. If you're using Sanmar, again, I definitely would use the sales image. If you're using Alpha or SNS, I probably would use the product view.
Okay. And then Arvin asks, can you show an example of a fully sublimated t-shirt and how that might be decorated?
That, okay, that's hard to do real quick, but oh gosh, I've done many of them. I have clients that I've done them for, but I don't exactly want to just pull up any website. Let's kind of show you how we can do it. So what he's talking about is kind of a cut and sew or all over sublimation where the sleeves are printable and so forth. That would be making a product from scratch back in the products. And let's just try doing it. Add a custom product. I guess we'll call it apparel. Call it all over t-shirt, a tee. But what essentially we're doing is it's important to know I can upload any image I want to then allow the customer to decorate. And I can also upload any area, essentially clipping mask of where the customer can add artwork. So I would do a single image for all colors. We always start as white. Oh, let's see what I have. Maybe. Okay, so we'll upload a front. And you can upload an image of a true t-shirt. That doesn't mean it has to be a wireframe like this. This is the front. And it always starts as white. So there's my t-shirt. Now that's just the view. I'm going to say sublimation can be used, and I'm going to add an area. I'm going to just say it's the front all over. And you can see traditionally it's going to upload a shape, but what you can do is upload your own shape. So I can say, okay, here's the front, and it'll upload. And there's the image of the front. Now what's important is to make sure that it's the actual size. So you want it to be really close to the true size, if not perfect. And you're essentially creating your own clipping mask for the customer to work from. Now, this isn't perfect. This is me working really fast, but I'll show you what it allows to do. Gotta bear with me. Let's just try that. Okay, we saved that. Let's just create a category called all over. And whenever I add a new product, it's the last one. So I'll put it in the all over. Okay, now it's an all over. Come back to our websites. And what I'm really getting at is, again, the admin contains all the nuts and bolts that drive the site. The site is really just displaying some content and the products you make available. A lot of the work is really backing the admin. Now let's see. Look, I added an all over category. So it automatically appears here. I didn't have to update anything. I don't even have to publish. This would be updated automatically because I added that category. They're totally independent of one another. Select all over. designing. And I'm just going to upload some type of bigger design. I mean, any of these will work, but typically what we're talking about is like a full square. And my sleeves are very small on this image because it's just, they don't go out super far. But I could simulate anything. I took a screenshot earlier today. And you'll see you can control, what it looks like. If you upload that decoration area shape, it acts as your clipping mask. And look at the neck. It's not, obviously this would be someone's head, so the print isn't going to show there, and it can show the customer what it's going to look like. It's about as fast as I can do that without going into serious detail.
Right, that was great. Well, I think that was all of our questions. We got one more. On our customer stores, can I create a custom product that is already decorated that is only used for that store, its own product group?
Yes, you can, but you don't need to create a blank product. I mean, when you create a pre-decorated product on a site, it is only available on that site. So you don't need to set any availability. Only if you're creating a product back here that you only want available on certain sites. And again, this is where I'm making my blank products. But within a site, I create my pre-decorated products. And if you create a pre-decorated product, that product is only available on the site you made it on. It cannot be passed from one site to another. If you clone the site, it'll clone the pre-decorated products. And I can, again, turn them off. But anything you create here with the customer's artwork, now it's going to be unique to this site only. I'll choose my logo, or Deco's logo. And remember, what you can also do is I'll make this personalizable. If I make something personalizable, I can swap it, change color scheme, do things without having to go to the design tool. So we'll just do all that, put it in a category, choose what colors I want it to be available in. I can choose, hey, I want it on these shirts as well. Put it on all those shirts. I could choose again what colors I want to display. And then the last step of this is I can set, what do I want to sell the product for? What's the retail price? I'm going to sell this for $20, and my client is going to make a $5 commission each time it's sold. Deco makes it that easy to override the retail price and the commission. Now on the front end of the site, instead of displaying blank products using the blank product widget, we're going to display decorated products using the decorated product widget. Now the beautiful thing is the blank product and the decorated product listings are identical in how they work. I could choose, do I want to show the colors, sizes, and so forth. The only difference is it's just pulling the decorated products instead of blanks. And when the customer selects one of these, it's going to take them to what's called the pre-decorated product page, not the view blank product page. Very similar layout. It's just you can control a difference between the two types of products. So I'll select there, and I made this personalizable. Because I made it personalizable, I can change the color scheme, for example. I want red, I want purple on blue. And it's much easier for the customer to be able to visualize and do what they need through personalization versus if you want to let them to customize, that launches the online design tool where your customer can do virtually anything they want as long as you haven't locked the layer. And it's a double-edged sword. You're giving them a lot of capability. You're also giving them a chance to get overwhelmed. Any other questions, Kay? Can you hear me, Kay?
Zach, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, great. We have a couple more questions for you. Mike asks, do I need to decorate it within DecoNetwork or use existing collateral?
No, you don't want to decorate it outside of Deco because then you're going to work extra hard to bring it into Deco. No, I would take a blank product, add the artwork in Deco to create the pre-decorated product. There is no quick way to upload a bunch of products into Deco that, yeah, like he wants.
Right. And then Adam asks, is it possible to add a discounted quantity price for products in affiliate stores rather than one fixed retail price?
Yes, discounts, there's many different ways we can discount a product. So one method I could do is I can create different, what we call price levels. So I could create a different contract price level. So just add a new level, call it level 3, call it Zach. I get special pricing. What I can then do is I can come into the decoration processes, and let's just say for my orders we're using DTG. I can come into price tables, and I'm going to create a new table, call it for Zach. Then down here in decoration pricing, I can assign what tables we are using for each process for each level. So for level 3, DTG, I want to use that table. When I go into a website, within the administrative settings, I can set the contract price level. So this is the way you probably want to do it because it'll actually use the correct pricing. It'll discount it based on the quantity correctly, everything else. A different way you can do it is you could come into products. You could create volume discounts. Call it Zach discount. And I can do it all over line items, and I can set it available to specific sites. Now, the problem with volume discounts is the volume discount has to be available on the product. So it gets a little bit tricky. I would definitely be trying to use the contract price levels whenever possible. You can create these discounts, but then they become a little tricky in other ways.
Yeah. Okay, I think this officially concludes our Q&A session. Zach,
Thanks, Bill.
it was great. Another great webinar. Thank you so much for your demonstration and all of your quick tips.
And if anybody has any questions, never hesitate to reach out to client services. The worst thing they tell you is this is out of their realm of helping, and then they put you in contact with someone like me. But if you have questions and you're running into problems, a lot of the times it's just a support ticket or coming in here and searching. There's tons of great help articles that Deco has put up over the years, and they're always being updated. You know, I come into volume discounts, I'm going to find a great help article and often videos that are going to walk me through how we can make a volume discount. If the help article doesn't do what you need, create a support ticket, or you can contact me at decoexperts.com, or just go through Business Hub and do the same thing. But DecoNetwork software is very robust. The best and worst thing about Deco is how powerful it is. The only reason it makes so much sense to me is because I've spent 11 years using it, and I've worked with a lot of clientele. And if you want to speed up the learning curve and everything else, you can always come in here when you're in Business Hub and request additional help. DecoNetwork is called a SaaS program. It's known as software as a service. The biggest mistake for all SaaS people who purchase SaaS software is not taking advantage of help. And that again, either is requesting or submitting tickets or hiring someone like me to streamline the setup process and teaching you and your staff how to get the most out of DecoNetwork using your business model.
That's awesome. So thank you, Zach. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today with us on this webinar. If you would like to go back and rewatch it, we will be posting it live, so you will be able to go back and see it. And yeah, thank you again, Zach.
Thanks, Kay.
No problem. Well, we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.